Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with another episode of the Snowflake Watch, episode 21, the final election talk. We are on the eve of the general election here. The date and time of this live stream is the 3rd of July 2024 at 8 p.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.tv/REGANELITE and on twitch.tv/REGANELITE1. Hello to everyone who's here live. How are you guys all doing? I hope you're all doing well. We also have a live YouTube chat poll for those who are in the YouTube chat, asking how you feeling about tomorrow's election. You have 4 choices. So you can say you're happy, you can nervous, stressed, or confident. Just a random one there just to throw in to get some bit of engagement there for you guys. The gang is still here behind me. And no, the lava lamp has still not been fixed. So why has the lava lamp not been fixed, Regan? Because I have had no time to take to get a replacement bulb for it. That's simply why, guys. I have been. You may have noticed that some new thumbnails have been made for the live streams next week. So everything's going to be. I'm going to be pretty much reconstructing the channel after this general election, because obviously it's no longer about the Conservatives, really. It's all about what the Labour government are going to be doing and engaging in there. So obviously it's the right time for me to update the channel. Everything is going to have new thumbnails and whatnot, so that's coming. That's going to be coming from next week at least, including Patreon and Rumble as well, guys. So that's going to just to kind of shake things up as well. So just before we get into it, I did say this is going to be a long live stream. So I got some leaflets today, guys. Michael Heron of the Green Party, Lewisham East is my constituency there. So he's asking for my vote. I'm probably going to give him my vote there. Now your first, you may not see the colour here. That's a Conservative, so that came in the post today. Lewis Bryce, vote your voice for Lewisham East. That's not a blue leaflet, not a green one either. It's actually like a weird cream colour leaflet from Lewis Bryce. That one, but yeah, that can go in the bin, obviously. I had some last week as well, but I really wish I should have showed you guys last week, to be fair, from them, because I had a Workers' Party one, I had a Reform one, I had a Lib Dems one, and I didn't show you guys. And then the last one here, the Workers' Party, Steph Coffey of the Workforce Party. All they say here is support Palestine now and always, fighting cuts for local services on the side of people, not the powerful. Yeah, so not sure about that one, if I'm honest, guys. I'm probably not going to vote for the Workers' Party. But in all seriousness, I have had, because you guys know obviously I work at home, right? So you would have thought that I would have had a knock on the door, right? You would have thought that maybe I'd get a knock on the door and someone would try to convince me to reach their support. Not one single candidate, none of them, no political party came knocking on my door at all. And I'm quite shocked of that, actually, I have to say. Let me know what the mic volume is like, by the way, guys, in the comments down below. I really need to know what the level is, if it's too high or too low. But very disappointed that I didn't get anyone knocking on my door. Of course, I was expecting leaflets, but not even one political party, or even come knocking on my door. Very disappointed in that. So that's a quite shameful, really, to be fair. But plenty of choices here in Lewisham East is here. Terry Regan says, I had no one knocking on my door either. I had I've had flyers though. Yeah, disappointing. Who else have we got here in the chat? Good to see you, Terry. Hope you're doing well. Akis Mad is here as well. Good to see you, buddy. Mad Monk says, will not be on tonight as it's Wednesday night. Club may pop in every now and then. No worries, Mad Monk. Thanks for popping in and hitting the like button. Appreciate it. Joe is here. I think he's here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And Joe Lefty is here, bringing the Badgers will bringing the badges too. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Political parties here in Portugal do not knock on doors. It would consider distasteful and unethical. Ah, well, it's kind of a thing here, you know, to knock on doors and be considered. Well, it's a different. It's a more of a. I think it's more of a. To be fair, like I think it's more of a culture thing. But like where me and my partner lived before, it wasn't ideal because we were in a block of flats. But because we are in a house, it's literally like it's very easy to knock and engage with us if they wanted to engage with us. So it's very easy for them to do so there. Right. So we got a. I've had none knocking on my door either, says Steve. Good to see you, Steve. Hope you're doing well. In Portugal, they can talk with us on the streets and only if we want it. Okay. They can't knock on the door then. Interesting. So, guys, there is so much to cover. So obviously, I'm not going to cover as much as I wanted to. Obviously, I'm just not going to be able to cover Gaza tonight, guys. So I am leaving Gaza tonight. But we do have to talk about the new polling that's come out from YouGov. Without a shadow of a doubt, definitely very, very interesting to say the least. Why is this not updated? Just give me 1 second, guys. I've got this may even go 2 hours. I also am going to talk about the there we go. I wanted to show you guys this as well. This is before we go to the videos by Sky News on this, because I watched the whole thing and it was very fascinating. So this is from YouGov. This is from one of their tweets a couple of hours ago. And it says this: we asked Labour voters to tell us in their own words the main reasons that they are backing the party. For the largest number, by far the key motivation is ousting the Conservatives. So the top 5 reasons is get the Tories out at 48%, country needs to change at 30%, agree with their policies 5%. So if you can see here, this is from YouGov. This is extremely worrying. Yeah, there we go. Now I was wondering why my live chat's not up. And you can see there from YouGov. This is getting 48% getting the Tories out. Country needs to change 13%. 5 only agree with their policies. So it's really important that people know that this coincides with a lot of what polling here that says that people are not backing the Labour Party because they believe in Labour. They're backing Labour because they want to get rid of the Conservatives, and they are literally lending their vote to the to the Labour Party, and it really is down to them to ensure that they can hold on to those voters. That's really, really important. Sorry, I just refresh them because I want to make sure. Can I please have it back here, please? Thank you. Right. Where is Sam Coates? There we go. Right, so this is the first one here from this. So, Labour are on course for a landslide victory in Thursday's general election here, with a 212-seat majority according to YouGov's final MRP polling. Let's have a gander, guys.
It's the moment. It's the moment. It's time now for Sky News' third and final poll-based projection by YouGov of this election campaign. And I don't want to delay any longer because we can now reveal that based on this data, here we go, Labour is on course for a landslide majority tomorrow with a majority of, get this, 212 seats. Now obviously, YouGov, it's not guaranteed, obviously, that they are going to get 200 and counting. But this is their final poll. This is their final polling before the general election. This is what they've indicated based off all the analysis and whatnot that they've had. So it's very, very important to take that with a pinch of salt. But what I would say is this is a rough estimate of what they think the final call will be.
Now, that would be the biggest majority for any single party since 1832. It would break a series of electoral records. So that there, the 212 seats, that's the main headline, but there is loads more data that is being released right now that our Deputy Political Editor, Sam Coates, has been going through all the data. You can take us through the key headlines because, Sam, that is the number that the Conservatives did not want to see on the eve of polling day.
That's right, Sophie. This is it. 212 seats majority. That is the projection that YouGov are making about Thursday's general election. And as Sophie says, we are on course to break so many records if this projection turns out to be anything like the result that we get on Friday morning when the votes have been counted. It's bigger, this majority, than anything we've seen in this century and in the last century. You have to go back to the 19th century to see anything like this before. And it suggests, that number suggests, that Rishi Sunak's gamble has failed. The supermajority argument has failed. Look at the history here. You have to go back to 1832 when there was a majority of 224. The Conservatives weren't even in existence. You had the Whig Party and the Prime Minister was the Earl Grey.
1832. Wow. Man, look at that. Wow. This is according to their polling, according to YouGov, the biggest single party majority since 1832. Now, there's a couple of things I have to say, though. This is also partly, it also feels a bit scary as well. This does scare me a little bit. That Labour have such a, that they could have such a super majority here. I don't know if Sam Coates says it in one of these videos, but because I watched the full thing, I really wish someone had posted the full video on here, but so I can show you from start to finish on it, because I really wanted to show it from start to finish. But one of the Conservative candidates texted Sam Coates after he did all this, like him live on there, and he looked at one or two text messages, and one of the Conservative candidates they said, "Whew, I could have been a lot worse." One of the Conservative candidates said, "Yeah, I'll take that." When we look at the numbers, but you look at those. Look at those election years and those differences. Yeah, quite huge.
Look at more recent comparisons. This is where this projected majority would fit. Keir Starmer in 2024 with 212. Now look at more recent precedents. Exactly 100 years ago, there was a Conservative majority under Stanley Baldwin of 210. The massive Blair majorities, really, these are the majorities, huge landslide majorities of our lifetime, Sophie. 179, 167 in 1997 and 2001. Nothing like the 212 that we could see on Friday morning, and then one in 1895 of 153. So you could see the scale of the majority compared to history when it comes to comparing it against single party victories in elections.
Yeah, pretty darn huge there, to say the least, guys. Absolutely huge. Here's another one from Sam Coates here. The 16 standing cabinet ministers projected to lose their seat in the latest YouGov poll. This is really fascinating. You can see some of the faces up there, guys, but I'll let Sam explain a little bit here. This is quite a game changer here.
There are 16 cabinet ministers who are standing this election, because remember, quite a lot of them, like Michael Gove, are standing down. 16 standing cabinet ministers projected to lose their seat. I want you to look at all of these faces, because you might not be seeing them in the front line of British politics for much longer. Michelle Donnellan, she's a new one in this polling projection. She's projected to lose the Lib Dems by 7 points. She's the science secretary. Esther McVey, Minister for Common Sense. She
clearly has no common sense, because the Lib Dems are kicking her out.
Could lose by 5 points. This name here, my goodness. Richard Holden is the Conservative Party chairman. He was a North East MP. He actually did a chicken run, as it's known. He transferred seats down to Essex, to Basildon and Billericay. He could lose to Reform.
That is fascinating. So, I haven't got a video of showing the actual seat numbers, because for some reason no one's got them. But I think what I might do, I might pull up the YouGov so we can have a look at the actual seat projections, because I think it's worth looking at. But Reform are projected to win in 2 to 3 seats. They are projected, according to this YouGov poll, to actually win seats, guys. So it's definitely getting through to voters. The only thing is that even though the YouGov says that, the problem is that Reform are just too spread out. I can see them getting Clacton, but I just don't know whether or not they will be getting to getting that many seats. But I could be wrong. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of voters out there who simply just don't trust the Labour Party, understandably so. But are simply buying into what Nigel Farage says, because Nigel Farage can tell them anything they want and they will believe it. And that's the problem.
Lucy Fraser, the Culture Secretary, Michael Tomlinson, one of the immigration ministers who sits in Parliament. And look at this. Still there with an almost impregnable advantage for the Lib Dems. Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, he's projected to lose by 23 points.
He has tried. I hope he gets the boot. He has tried so hard. He has put some of his own money into his own campaign. He is so desperate to hold on, Jeremy. He is so desperate to hold on. I hope he gets the boot. I really, really do.
There seems very little chance this man will be returning, nor this man, Grant Shapps. He's going to lose to Labour if anything like this turns out to be true on election day. Defence Secretary Welwyn Hatfield.
Not the sharpest man, Graham Sharps. I'm looking forward to him being kicked to the curb.
Gillian Keegan, the Education Secretary.
Gillian Keegan was so full of shit. I'm so glad that these are coming through. I really hope many of these are accurate here, because some of these people absolutely deserve to be kicked to the curb. Some of them extremely vile. I recommend checking out the YouTuber Michael Lambert. He did a great video breaking down just how vile some of these people are. He was really good. And also, if you haven't checked out Alex from Political X, he did a great video breaking down so many scandals that have been under the Conservatives since 2010 as well. He did a great video there. I recommend checking out both their channels and their content, guys.
Mark Harper, the Transport Secretary. Alicia Shapps, Penny Mordaunt. She could lose in Portsmouth North to Labour by 6 points.
6 points is a very tight one. That's a very tight one there. That can still swing. That could still swing either way. That one with Penny Mordaunt there if it's out by 8 points. So it could that. I know all of these are still up for grabs, but she can definitely fall on her sword here. That's for sure.
Look at this. Alex Chalk could lose to the Dems by 35 points in Cheltenham.
35 points. That's a massive swing if that was to happen. That would be really quite huge.
Chief Whip, who would be key in ensuring some kind of discipline in a new parliament, well, he won't be there if the Nationalists in Wales, Plaid Cymru, defeat him by 9 points.
Yes, we want Plaid Cymru to get some more seats in Wales. Definitely.
The Welsh Secretary would be out in Wales. The Work and Pension Secretary, a familiar face on our screens because he's on the telly almost every other day, because I'm told not every Cabinet Minister wants to do broadcast interviews to defend the government. Johnny Mercer, the Veterans
Yeah, I wonder why they don't.
Minister, and Victoria Prentice, who Rishi Sunak saw just yesterday in Banbury. She could lose to Labour by 7 points. She said it was still looking OK on the doorstep. This doesn't look so much. So you look at all these faces, because you might not be seeing them for that much longer. Right.
Yeah, we might not see them for that much longer. Where's the other one? So, other as well, that's not the only lot, guys. So, no. The projected big names here, guys. So, Robert Jenrick, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Steve Baker, Miriam Cates, Ian Duncan Smith, Greg Hands, Theresa Coffey, Chris Phillips are all projected to lose their seats in the latest YouGov poll as well. Yeah, they're all projected to lose their seats as well, just to add insult to injury as well, guys.
And these are the well-known Conservatives who could go. And I want you to draw your attention to this man, Craig Williams. You've been hearing about him. He was tarred with the gambling scandal.
Yeah, the gambling scandal has definitely hurt him. I mean, with that smirk face, I think, you know, he's just been... He's a close ally of Sunak, he is, as well. So I hope he gets the boot. Billy Kershaw, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. You're going to see Robert Jenrick there. Jacob Rees-Mogg. Please, Jacob Rees-Mogg. Please get rid of him.
Admitted putting a bet on the election date just days before it was called. Steve Baker.
I would not be surprised if some of these Conservatives bet on themselves losing as well.
Well, he was talking to Sophie just a few days ago, throwing his hat on the ring and complaining about the campaign. No wonder he's complaining. He could lose to Labour by 23 points in Wigan.
That's a big one, Steve Baker losing it by 23 points. I think he's the more he's kind of a mixed. There are times where he's actually down to earth, and then there are times where he's just completely off of whack for the Conservatives.
Wickham. Robert Jenrick, another leadership contender. He could be out.
Yeah. Robert Jenrick is a nasty man. He's been taking way too much stuff off Suella Braverman. He has.
Miriam Kate, another one. She could be out. Jacob Rees-Mogg, a familiar face on the telly, as well as a former cabinet minister. And Ian Duncan Smith in Chingford, he could be out to Labour.
Yeah, good riddance to them. Shame here, obviously, you can see that, obviously, you don't see Liz Truss, you don't see Suella Braverman, you don't see Rishi Sunak. So it looks like they're the ones that are probably going to hold on as much as we don't want them to.
Chris Philp, Greg Hands, Karen Bradley and Therese Coffey, all of them look like they could be out of Parliament despite standing again in this election. Look at these guys. They could be gone as quickly as Friday. Now,
yeah, quite huge, guys. I mean, these, you know, the amount of people that could, it's like I said, it's going to be such transformative. That is without a shadow of a doubt here. So one of the people from YouGov is joined them at the studio to talk a little bit about this. Akisman, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And Ben Ridgins, good to see you guys. If I've missed anybody else, I hope you're all doing well. So this one, obviously, this here. So what we're seeing before us right now is something that has never happened in British political history. BNP's Politics talks to Sophie Ridge about the final YouGov poll before Thursday's election, which projects a landslide victory for Labour. So let's hear what they had to say, what he had to say about this.
You're sticking your neck out here because if this happens, it would be truly astonishing.
It certainly would be, and we've spoken to almost 48,000 people. In fact, we've spoken to around 150,000 people over the course of the campaign to produce our 3 MRP estimates of what we think the House of Commons will look like after polling day, and this is our final call. I think it's been quite stable, really. We've been quite surprised in a way that our first MRP projection showed a similar result to this one. Between 3 and 2, we've seen an increase for Labour of 6 seats, a decrease for the Conservatives of 6, but overall, the story has remained consistent. And as you guys have been touching on, it's not just about these two men or these two parties. It's about the Liberal Democrats. It's about Reform UK. It's about the Greens. The Conservative vote, the 2019 coalition, which propelled Boris Johnson to that majority, is fragmenting. And it's fragmenting in all kinds of different directions. And that's how we get to this result with Labour on under 40% of the vote, but sweeping through the House of Commons.
40% of the vote from Labour are going to give them the power that they should. That are going to give them the powers there. Now, it's also. I also want to stress this as well. This is going to upset a lot of Scottish voters. This YouGov poll is also projecting Labour to have an iron grip in Scotland over the SNP as well, which is obviously very not good for SNP voters there. So it looks according to YouGov poll, obviously, like I say, always take with a pinch of salt. It looks like this, according to this, that Labour are going to get back control in Scotland, as much as may frustrate people. Stephen Banker, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. As well, according to this, when Sam Coates showed the map on it earlier, there was quite a bit of Labour power there as well. So that's obviously quite fascinating there, to say the least. But the follow-up point of what he said there back in 2019, there were a lot of key factors we have to remember from the last general election. So first and foremost, we didn't have voter ID issue. The second thing as well is that it was pretty much was on the back of Brexit. So Brexit was a key factor in that general election as well. And even though I think a lot of people were, I wouldn't say people were satisfied with the Conservatives, but the Conservatives were promising something that they would get. The Conservatives were promising getting the Brexit done, and all other kind of political issues were kind of just shelved under it. The other thing as well is that immigration was one of the key things that wouldn't be stopped talking about. UKIP, the Brexit Party, were hammering home that about how important it was to take back control and all that kind of stuff, and they pulled back to allow the Conservatives the things that what they needed. The other parties were very much there was still a lot of divisiveness. Labour were never united in 2019 as well, so Jeremy Corbyn never got the party under his banner. We know Keir Starmer has, regardless of what you think about this current Labour Party, they are pretty much solidly united under his banner. And that is something that's happened over the last 4 years. Many people feared, and even myself back then, and he's probably going to mention it here. You know, we thought it was going to be Boris Johnson in power for a long, long time. And then COVID happened, and all of a sudden, everything kind of... And we got to see just how bad the Conservatives really were. And they have been in power for a very, very long time. And now the rise of other parties. The Lib Dems have done really well in this campaign. They've done very well in their campaigning, I think. I think Ed Davey has done a terrific job in terms of campaigning. I don't think the Greens have done as good as campaigning as I would have liked, but maybe it's because they haven't showed them, we haven't seen enough of them. So it probably wouldn't be my right to say that. Reform have had plenty of media coverage, and obviously when you have added Nigel Farage's factor into it, obviously people are just going to buy into it straight away, without even shredding the thought, forgetting that the man is a liar and is actually... They've actually allegedly been taking money from Russian donors, the same Russian oligarchs and that who have been funding the Conservatives. But you'll hear blatant denies from that. That's why I had to disable my video on it, because Reform people didn't want to hear that. Didn't want to hear that. Well, too bad, I would say. But that's why, for those who are wondering why I disabled the comments on that video today, there were too many Russian bots on there, too many defenders of Putin and Russia, and I don't give a fuck what your political allegiance is. You can come on and you can say you vote Reform and you're backing Reform, that's fine. But if you come on here and saying that being a sympathetic to Putin for what that fucking bastard has done to the people of Ukraine, what that man has done, poisoning his opposition leader, some of the crimes that he has committed. Now, you can make the arguments all you want about bloody NATO, but that man is a criminal. That man deserves to pay for the injustices that he has done. He has destroyed people's lives. Innocent Ukrainians have died. Ukrainian soldiers have died. Thousands of Ukrainian children have been taken from their country, from Russia as well. You don't talk about that, do you? So don't go giving me any fucking sympathy whatsoever for Russia whatsoever on my channel. You can fuck right off my channel, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm sick to death of y'all trying to show some sympathy towards him. And Nigel Farage has spoken of his admiration or being an admirer of Vladimir Putin, and you're not battering an eyelid for 1 second on criticism towards him. Like, seriously, wake the fuck up. And it's so infuriating me that I have people. So when you ask someone asked me, trying to tell me, oh, you shouldn't turn off the comments because it's disengaging with your viewers. Well, maybe if I weren't getting bombarded with Russian bots, maybe I wouldn't have turned off the comments. And like I said on the community post, it's my fucking channel and I can do what I want. And if you don't like it, go make your own damn channel. So I'm not taking that shit from anybody. I don't care who you are. Like, that's just it. I'm just not taking it. So anyway, done ranting.
How much should we trust the MRP? Because it feels quite new. Lots of people listening will be like, what on earth is an MRP to start off with? And we've been very careful, and you've been very careful to say that these are central projections. There's a margin of error. It could be less, it could be more. Mm-hmm. How much should we trust the central projection?
Absolutely. This is a huge change election, and we used MRP successfully in 2017 to correctly anticipate that Theresa May would lose her majority. But there we were talking about changes of 30, 40 seats. What we're seeing before us now is something which has never happened in British political history. And there are no guides really for us to look towards to see what kind of election result we should expect. So we are...
I think this is also really important here, is that they can't calculate how... They cannot calculate, and no MRPs, no polling can calculate how much of a factor voter ID is going to play into this general election. And I don't know how much they're going to even be able to factor that into the next general election, because the next general election is going to be completely different from this one. Whether it could be Labour splitting up, or disgruntledness, or the rise of reform, or perhaps we will have a proportional representation at the next general election. There's lots of questions about what's going to happen between now and the next one. So the voter ID thing, the only kind of information and data analysis that they can take from voter ID since it's been introduced is what's been off local elections. But as we guys know, local elections and general elections are two different things. So it is going to be fascinating to see how that is going to play a factor into this as well. Also, it's going to be another factor into this. It's going to be postal voting as well, because there are still some people who have not gotten their postal vote. There's been a major issue up in Scotland. There have been issues here in the UK as well with regards to postal vote as well. So that's definitely a lot of questions that needs to be raised as well. And because they because they number 3, you put me off my train of thought there with your comment. Dan Reagan could be the name of your retirement home. Okay, good to see you, number 3. Hope you're doing well. And Artibus there, good to see you, buddy. Hope you guys are doing. Hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, postal vote. Obviously, that is going to be a factor, especially those from abroad for the going to be voting in this election as well. Like how much of that is going to play a role into this too. So it may even be the case that they might not even be able to announce the Prime Minister, may not even be able to announce it Friday. As of right now, guys, I'll just want to say, obviously, before I go any further, because I think this is important for those who are here. As of right now, I have not recorded any content for Friday apart from short videos. I've not done any UK videos. I've done some world short videos for Friday, just in case as well. I don't know if I'll even do any videos for Friday, simply because I'm not sure what to do, whether to do non general election or general election. There's no point in me doing general election videos now, because obviously we need to know the result. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do in terms of videos. So I may not even do any videos, and I might just have 2 live streams that day. I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this is going to be... I call this not just obviously the changing in terms of seats, but this is going to be one of the most unique general elections in history, because of so many factors. So many things have changed since 2019. Like so there's been so many things, and Brexit is not something that's being talked about either, even though it's really hurting our economy as well. So there's so many factors into this general election that still are going to play into this. But I think YouGov and among other MRP polls, I had someone showing me. I don't know why he wanted to show me. He wanted me to show his polling from GB News, showing that Reform has 20% of the vote. Yeah, I'll believe that if I'll see that one. You know, just like Akismad saying about the Labour gaining control in Scotland. Yeah, yeah, it is, like I say, take them with a pinch of salt, because so much can change between now, between what it says here and what will happen on them, and what will happen on the day.
Are in a realm of great uncertainty. We believe and we think that by speaking to 48,000 voters, by using these advanced statistical techniques, that we can get the closest that we possibly can, given the data we have, to how this will fall out. But of course, it's polling, it's subject to margins of error. And we think anything could be possible in terms of something which looks a lot like 1997 to an even bigger Labour figure. So other pollsters as well as beyond what we're saying. We think that is very possible too. There is even a scenario in the projections that we've put out today where this man, Ed Davey, is leader of the opposition. That could happen.
So the second biggest party, what you're saying is Lib Dem's getting more seats than the Conservatives.
It's within the intervals of what we've published today.
I have to say, you're saying that, look, we could see a 1997 majority or even bigger. I mean, it feels crazy that you're even saying that, because I guess, Keir Starmer, the guy behind you, he'd have bitten your hand off for a 97 majority at the beginning of the campaign.
He would have. The worst result since 1935 is what Labour suffered in 2019. In one electoral cycle, we think, if this does happen tomorrow, they're going to go from that to a record-breaking majority. It is unprecedented, and that's why there's so much uncertainty, and that's why we're so keen to express a lot of things could happen. We have our central estimates, and of course we're going to be judged by those, but we must say there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things could happen. There's still 89 seats that we're projecting with a margin of less than 5%, so statistically they could go either way. So a lot is still happening.
Yeah, a lot is still happening. I was just wanting to get this up for you guys. So this is from Sky News. Obviously, they've got the there. I just wanted to show you the graphs here. Give me 1 second. Let me just see if I can get a better one there. So here we go. So so here are the seat projections from the YouGov MRP here. The House of Commons seat projection. The third MRP poll of the general election campaign puts Labour on the majority of 212 seats. That's a change compared to the 2019 national result. National result there, forgot to spell check there. But you can see there in terms of 231 gain to 270 lost. 64 and 64 in change in seats. And minus 30 to the SNP according to this, guys. So they're saying that good to see when Angry Pagan, hope you're doing well. So they're saying that the SNPs could lose 30 seats there. I really hope that's not the case. And obviously saying that Reform would gain 3 seats, guys. They're saying that that Reform Party would gain 3 seats in terms of their seat projections of what they're getting. But they're also saying the Greens would get 2 seats, so they would gain an extra seat there as well, is also what they're saying there. Doc Davis, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if they've got... so my screen is frozen again. Come on, update. Come on. Thank you. There we go. So, right. So this obviously... So you can see on the left-hand side, guys... I don't know how much I can zoom. I can't really... I don't know if I can zoom in or not. I might be able to. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to see if I can zoom a bit in for you guys, if this helps. There we go. I have to turn off the camera temporarily. So, on the left-hand side, guys, is the results of the 2019 election on new boundaries. So, as you can see there, a very dominant SNP, a majority up in Scotland, and then a few Conservative ones there. Very, very, very little Labour there. They got absolutely walloped. Very powerful there. Now, if you looking at the right-hand side one there, you can clearly see there in 2024 what a stark contrast of difference there. So you can see, according to, again, this again, take it with a pinch of salt. Don't get mad, Scottish viewers. I'm just showing you what the YouGov are saying that they've projected. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but they're showing here that SNPs, while still have a lot of seats, they're expecting a lot of Labour to take a lot of seats here, according to them. Here they're expecting a lot of Labour wins apparently there. They're also expecting some seats in Scotland to hold. They're expecting Gordon and Breskin. They're expecting the Conservatives to hold at least 3 seats there. You can see obviously there are still some Conservative held seats. Obviously you can see there. Where is the Clacton one? I don't know. I can't. So Clacton, they're saying they're very likely here. So that's Clacton there. They're saying that Reform are going to gain that from the Conservatives. They're projecting there. That's the numbers that they're projecting for the... You can see the numbers there. Good. Maybe if I can just pull it down a little bit. Maybe you can see it a bit better there. Yeah, it's a shame. They don't really want... I don't know how I can zoom in there. Can you give me Clacton again? Wilton. Just trying to see the other ones. Wilkerton Valley. Yeah, you can see it's a very mixed, very, very mixed there. Yeah, Plaid Cymru don't look like they're going to get too much. It doesn't look like too much. It looks like Labour strong here in Wales, obviously. Yeah, so it's very Isle of Wight splitting in west and east there. They're expecting but you can see obviously there is still quite a bit of blue there in some of the north, a bit of north of London in certain parts, but you can see the red wall seat there. They're projecting a big a very, very big very big control of the red wall coming back into Labour's hands there, you can see there. But it's just as interesting here, you can see a lot of Lib Dem gains. They're projecting a lot of Lib Dem gains according to the YouGov poll there. You can see there quite a lot of that blue wall obviously erased there. But they're projecting... I can't really get... Yeah, I can't zoom in, guys, anymore. But they're projecting, obviously... It's a fascinating piece of the map there. It's very, very much more colourful in stark contrast to 2019 general election when everyone literally backed the Conservatives just to kind of get the just to get things done. But now you look at this one, it's just all over the place there. So I prefer the second picture. Well, that is what YouGov are projecting on One Angry Pagan. That is what they are projecting. So this is the vote share projection. Their third MRP poll of the general election campaign puts Labour 17 points ahead of the Conservatives. That's the change compared to the 2019 national result. So the poll projection of projected of 39, a change in share of 6.9. Conservatives 22 to 22, minus 21.6. And Reform their poll projection of 15, and voting share is 13. So you can see there, in terms of sharing votes, Reform looks to gain more votes than Labour, according in terms of the change in share there, and change in share. Poll projection there, Lib Dems to 12, 0.4% there. Greens on 7, 4.4% there in share as well. SNP's 3, 0.9% in share there. Plaid Cymru 1, 0.5% and others there. I don't know if they've got, yep, they've got another one here. Let me just see if I can put myself back on the screen for you guys. There we go. Now, how have MRP seat projections changed at the beginning of the campaign? So this is what they've been. So since the campaign has started, this is what YouGov have been showing since this the change kind of since the election, since 2019 here, and what the 2019 result there from the Conservatives, and we can see here that obviously they had 372 seats, and yeah, it's quite a change since then. Quite a change. Obviously, Labour 200 seats there. The early June prediction 422, 425, 431. That's MRP predictions there. Obviously, Lib Dems have gone quite a massive jump since their predictions. So this, obviously, this line here, this is the 3rd of June there. And then SNP had 48 seats when they're projecting. Quite a drop in seats is what they're projecting there. And really, Reform, they're saying they're going to get 3 seats. And they're going to say Greens are going to get 2 seats according to that. What is suggested? What is the suggested result in your constituency? So, I'm not going to do every single one, I suppose, but this is what they're projecting. Oh, can I hold on? Can I just make sure I don't really? Well, they're obviously out of 128 here, but I'll just scroll through a couple of guys if you want to have a quick. We'll have a quick gander of some of them. What they're predicting. Predicting a lot of Labour gains. Some are obviously toss-up. Obviously, these are not guaranteed. Obviously, the big one there, likely Green gain there for Bristol Central. That one, obviously, is the one I really want the Greens to get back. This one there, Kathleen Sunderland and Aoife Ross there for Scotland for the SNPs. It's a toss-up between, but they think Lib Dems will gain that one. Again, these are only MRP polls from YouGov, so again, take it with a pinch of salt. Terry Regan says, "Yeah, there's no way the SNP are going to lose that badly." I hope not. There, I hope not. But yeah, so that's those ones there. Let me just see. Is there any? Is there anything more to add on that piece? No, there's nothing more to add on that piece, guys. Let me just see. If I have anything more, any more videos on that? Not really. I'll just share this again, just for those who have just come in. I shared that earlier about what Labour voters say the main reason they're backing the Tories is, and that is to get the Tories out at 48%, according to a YouGov poll that was earlier, that was conducted earlier as well. But those are what some of the numbers, obviously, that we've seen. Those are some of the numbers, obviously, that we've gathered from what YouGov are saying. So you can take it as a pinch of salt, or however you want to take it, guys. So, but that is what they are predicting. We'll obviously have to wait and see. But I just want to share this before we go to move on to some other bits, guys. I'll put this on Discord if anyone wants to take a gander and have this for yourself. The Scandal Party. So here they've got here all the compiled by David Angel here, all the parts, all the scandals that have taken place by the Conservatives here. Quite a lot there you can see from 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 17, 19, 20. There's quite a lot there. I mean, you can see that the list actually gets bigger from 2021 onwards there of all the scandals. But I will put that list on the Discord for you guys if you guys want to have a gander of that as well. But yeah, quite a lot there, that's for sure. Let's have a read, guys, and see what you guys are saying in the chat. Like I said, this is going to be a long live stream, guys, because I've got quite a lot to cover, and I want to cover as much as I possibly can cover as much as I can tonight. Just asking on the live YouTube chat poll, guys, how you're feeling about tomorrow's election. Just whatever you guys are feeling. Just put a couple of ideas there. Most of you think are very happy. Six people have said they're happy. 17% say nervous. 70% say stressed. 17% say confident. So, guys, feel free to cast your vote in the live YouTube chat poll. If you want to write something else, write something else. Just, if it's not there and you can't see it, just refresh. Let's have a look and see what you guys are saying in the chat. When is the Scottish Parliament elections also, says Terry? I believe it's the same day. As from tonight, I'm blanking all things politics voting. I will see on Friday morning how my weekend is going to be, says Stephen Banker. Well, I'm not going to be any of my videos tomorrow. The videos I'm dropping tomorrow are not election related. I've got 2 videos dropping during the day. They're non-general election ones, but they are UK specific, Stephen Banker. And my shorts are going to be world news, I think. I've got 1 UK shorts, but I haven't done any videos for Friday because I don't see the point at the moment. But yeah, it's totally fine if you want to switch completely off, mate. Some people just don't want to hear anything. When Angry Pagan says, "Damn ignorance of Scotland from English polls." We'll have to wait. Yeah, like I said, we'll have to wait and see on it. Remember, SNP only run in Scotland. That's why the seats are skewed, says Aki's Mad. That's a very good point. SNP should do way better than that, surely. Yeah, I expect them to do a lot more than that, but we'll have to wait and see, guys. Like I said, they don't always get everything right, pollings. The reform seats will be soil, cracked and plastic garden furniture, said Ben Riggins there. Greens will win at least 4 seats to Tory Regan, possibly up to 10 seats. No reform seats, less Tories and more Lib Dems. That's they're not going to win Green. The Greens are not going to win 10 seats. I can't see them winning 10 seats. I think that's very optimistic, especially with our first past the post system. If the MRP polls were showing a bit more favouritism towards the Greens, I would have a different opinion on that. But we're not seeing that. If the Greens were gaining more traction in the polls, I would be more inclined to believe that they could win more than 4 seats. But I'm not seeing that, and because I'm not seeing the change, they've been staying around the same number the whole time. I just don't think they're going to get it. I really don't. But I appreciate the optimism either way. I'm not spending my day hitting politics numbers around my head. I want to avoid it. No, don't blame you, Stephen. Don't blame you. That's fine. No problem. Mark Wilkie, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. So, guys, we've already gone like 55 minutes in, and I think I've got plenty of funny videos to share with you guys as well. First one I'm going to share with you guys is this absolutely fantastic video from the wonderful Jonathan Pye that sums up in 4 minutes and 51 seconds of just how fucked up the Conservatives have been. I hope you guys enjoy this. If you haven't seen it already, prepare to be enlightened. It is really, really good. Take it away, Mr. Jonathan Pye.
As we look back at the last 14 years of Conservative rule, as we look back at this gaggle of obdurate, arrogant, stubborn, unrepentant, heartless, self-serving bunch of arseholes who have spent the last 14 years trying to keep their useless, megalomaniacal political party together while sleepwalking the country into a kitchen blender. 14 years, 5 prime ministers, 7 chancellors, 8 foreign secretaries, 13 culture secretaries, one of whom was Nadine Dorries, a woman so stupid she thinks Channel 4 is a brand of perfume. 8 Home Secretaries, including grinning exorcist doll Priti Patel, Sajid Javid, James Hilarious rape jokes cleverly, and far-right pin-up Suella Braverman. Twice! A woman who says multiculturalism has failed, even though her, Patel, Javid cleverly, Sunak, Kwarteng, Zahawi, Badenoch are proof that even if you do have brown skin, you too can become a vicious, festering, regressive, lying, greedy, nasty, eye-wateringly wealthy, but morally bankrupt cunt. No fewer than 16 housing ministers, which explains why the UK is the most difficult place to find a home in the developed world. In 2000, a home cost 4 times the average salary. Now it costs 8 times the average salary, and workers are 11 grand worse off a year after 15 years of almost completely unprecedented wage stagnation. We've gone from 29 billionaires to 177 billionaires, whilst the working classes endured crippling austerity, the highest taxes in 70 70 years, lowest corporate taxes in 50 years. The rich are richer and the poor are much poorer, and your average high street is boarded up. We've endured David Cameron's hubris, Theresa May's chaos, Boris Johnson's lies, and Liz Truss throwing £30 billion of your money down the shitter. £100 billion in lost trade due to Brexit, £40 billion in lost tax revenues due to Brexit, whilst our farmers and our fishermen were sold down the river. The worst trade deficit since records began, and our national debt is now at £3 trillion. Average student debt has gone from 5k to 50k, homelessness has doubled, child poverty has tripled, an energy crisis that has little to do with the war in Ukraine and more to do with unfettered capitalism and unbridled greed. Highest energy bills in Europe, with 6.7 million people currently living in fuel poverty. The party of law and order have overseen record backlogs in the Crown Court, delays of 5 years for rape cases, with rapists being spared jail because the prisons are full. Chronic shortages of judges on top of a narrative that says they're all enemies of the people. They sold off 600 police stations. They cut police numbers by 21,000, then increased police numbers by 20,000, which is not an increase in police numbers, no matter how many times they tell you it is. Highest train fares in Europe, lowest state pension in Europe, longest waiting lists in NHS history, a nation with rotting teeth and people being hospitalised with malnutrition and scurvy, billions of taxpayers' money wasted on PPE contracts for their rich mates, and they let the bodies pile high and kill tens of thousands of pensioners during the pandemic, and then they lied about it. They cut our armed forces, they closed and sold off our fire stations, they closed, then sold off our libraries, they didn't build those 40 new hospitals, and they forced councils into bankruptcy. They wasted billions on HS2. They voted to allow bankers to have unlimited bonuses. They allowed BP and Shell to steal our oil and gas reserves without paying taxes, whilst Norway, of course, went the other way and has a sovereign wealth fund of over 1.6 trillion. And record amounts of our tammies and turds are being churned into our rivers and oceans by our privatised water companies. Windrush, Grenfell, Partygate, Barnard Castle, 30p Lee, bullying, affairs, groping and rape and tractor porn and Chris Pincher and corruption and dirty deals and racist donors and lies and lies and lies. And yes, the pandemic didn't help and the war in Ukraine hasn't helped, but don't believe them when they tell you that that's the reason that you are poorer this week than you were last week, whilst Rishi Sunak is richer this week than he was last week. Rishi Sunak cut taxes on champagne on the same day he cut funding to rebuild schools, and he wants to bring back national service. What else are they going to bring back? Grandstand? Spam on the national health? Snickers going back to marathon? I look forward to voting these incompetent, hubristic grifters out, and I hope they spend a very long time in the wilderness and have a really good think about what they just did. Well, a trip down memory lane there with some highs and some lows from the last 14 years.
And well said from Jonathan Pye. Yeah, wasn't supposed to be funny, was supposed to point out the obvious, and the obvious is this, guys: get those fuckers out. That is the message from Jonathan Pye. That is not the last one.
Every year in the UK, 1 billion chickens are slaughtered for their meat.
Yeah. I don't want to hear that. Thank you. I have another Jonathan Pye one that I will share with you guys as well. But to add a bit of laughter, guys, to bring back some humour, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this funny video that I found of Ed Davey. Before we go back to the serious stuff here, I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is absolutely brilliant. I did share this on the Discords, but for those who haven't seen it, this is really, really good. Oh, I've lost a few viewers off that. I hope that kind of lightened you guys up after that Jonathan Pye, because I thought we needed a bit of laughter anyway after that. But just before I go to the next clip, guys, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing, because it really does help support the channel. And just so you guys know, my live streams are not monetized, so I make no money off them. So if you guys want to financially support me with any super chats or any gifted memberships, any of those things, it would be greatly appreciated. Or you can buy me a coffee, or you can join me on Patreon. Links for all of them in the description. So thank you to everyone and anyone who's done any of those things. It is greatly appreciated. No worries, Mad Monk. Thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. So yeah, speaking of Ed Davey, so he had gave a bit of a speech, obviously, tonight, because obviously it's the last hurrah sort of thing. I haven't caught Keir Starmer's, because he's literally just given it as we've been on air. But let's hear what Ed Davey had to say in the ahead of tomorrow's vote.
Tomorrow we have the chance to win the change our country desperately needs. After so many years of being let down, taken for granted by this out-of-touch Conservative government, this is a chance.
Took them a while to boo.
This is a chance to vote for something different.
Thank you, Stephen Moore, for the £10 New Zealand, 10 New Zealand dollars, my friend. Thank you so much for all your support. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I still need to catch up with you. I keep forgetting on Patreon as well. I will let you know. Obviously, I will. Hopefully, I'll be able to respond to you tonight. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I really appreciate it.
Now, I believe
Andrew Luke, good to see you there, buddy, as well.
This campaign has been great, but we have a special job to kick the Conservatives out of government.
Yes, everyone has that role.
And then to start repairing the terrible damage they've done to our country. Now, you may have noticed, but I've quite enjoyed this campaign. I've travelled the entire length of the United Kingdom, from John O'Groats to Land's End. Driven 6,000 miles in yellow Hammer 1.
6,000, wow.
Visited 50 constituencies and bungeed 160 feet. All the while, Liberal Democrat campaigners across the country have delivered 20 million leaflets.
Very good.
Knocked on 2 million doors. And had over 500,000 conversations with voters. And listening to people. They've told us how they're working hard, raising their families, looking after loved ones, playing by the rules, but finding it harder and harder to make ends meet. Families and pensioners been hit by skyrocketing energy bills, food bills, and housing costs. And they've been looking at their loved ones waiting in pain for hours for an ambulance, weeks to see a GP, and months for urgent cancer treatment. Communities are angry that the water companies have been allowed to pour their filthy sewage into our rivers, lakes, and onto our beaches. This has to change. The Conservatives have got to go. And in so many parts of our great United Kingdom, Liberal Democrats have shown that we are the party to get the Conservatives out.
Quite very decent stuff there from Ed Davey. I'm sure he didn't completely finish his speech off that, but pretty strong stuff there from Ed Davies there. I will say my final thought, obviously, like I've obviously did a video earlier, but I will say Ed Davies, Liberal Democrats have done a very good campaign, and I'm inclined to believe that they will get quite a good amount of seats. Whether they will get enough to be opposition is still up for debate. But it will certainly be quite fascinating if they do. But he has no, he's not Nick Clegg, but he does obviously have I think the video he did with his son. If you guys didn't see, I'm sure you guys saw the video I did about him sharing his son's video and all that kind of stuff. That was really, really powerful. Really, really powerful to show that he's very serious about what's about how serious he is about this. And I think, you know, there obviously that failure of not keeping up to intuition freeze obviously is something that will continue that people will bang the Lib Dems back on for quite a long time. But you know, I think I think a lot of people have moved on from that as well. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously. As for the Greens, I don't have a Green speech, unfortunately, from them. But what I do have here is many, many, many people giving their backing to Carla Denyer here. This is quite impressive. Yeah, this just shows just how much people are backing her for Bristol Central.
If you live in Bristol Central, vote Carla.
Vote for Carla.
Carla Denyer.
Carla Denyer.
Please vote for Carla Denyer for the Greens.
Brilliant. Carla Denyer. Carla Denyer.
Hello, it's 3D from Massive Attack. If you're in central Bristol, please vote Carla Denyer.
Vote Green. Vote Carla.
She's going to be a superb MP and a really important Green voice in the next Parliament.
Someone who can make a genuine change and who has some massive ideas for the people of Bristol.
Hi, I'm Jen Reid, and on the 4th of July, I'll be voting for the Green Party.
What's sorely missing in democracy right now is accountability. And I believe the Green Party is expertly placed to demand exactly that of the next government.
Labour is going to get an absolutely massive majority, and it's so important that we have Green MPs in Parliament holding them to account.
My vote is for climate and social justice, and so I will be supporting the Green Party.
The Green Party is the only logical choice.
If you're in Bristol Central, you're extraordinarily lucky. You get to vote for Carla Denyer.
Hi, I'm Travis Alabanza and I live in Bristol Central, and I will be voting for Carla from the Green Party.
Vote for Carla, she's brilliant.
We need Green MPs like Carla to push Labour to be bolder.
I am lucky enough to live in Bristol Central, and I'm also lucky enough to have a brilliant MP candidate, Carla Denyer, leader of the Green Party, on my doorstep.
Hi, I'm Femi. I'm an activist/journalist who lives to make Tories cry. And if you're in Bristol and you want to do the same, and you want to give everybody in the country the power to do the same in all future elections by having somebody in Parliament who will fight for a fair voting system, then vote for Carla Denyer, the Green co-leader.
And it would be a triumph for Bristol, both nationally and internationally, if we elect Carla Denyer as our Green Member of Parliament.
So please use your voice, raise your voice on the 4th of July on Election Day and vote for Carla Denyer. Vote Green in Bristol Central.
Very nice piece there. That's very good to get so many people on board to back her. Yeah, that's really, really good. I like I've said, guys, I really, really hope she gets in. I really, really hope so. I think she deserves it. In my opinion, I think she's been absolutely brilliant. I know the projections are staying it, but there's always that possibility Labour could still get it, you know. And Best for Britain, the other tactical polling, they said to back Labour instead of the Greens here, which shows that they can't be, shows that their polling that their projections and tactical voting can't be trusted. So I really hope she gets in. I really, really hope so. So the Conservatives. So obviously earlier on there was an incident involving a certain man named Johnny Mercer. Now this is quite interesting. So I'm going to play the clip. So instead of Johnny Mercer out campaigning, he's just been basically sitting around doing fuck all, essentially. And he called the police because his wife specifically called the police because he was being allegedly harassed or something. And the police, it was claimed that there was some kind of altercation, which apparently there wasn't. But I'm just going to play the clip and let you listen to this yourself, guys.
Yeah, I've got no issue with the protest or anything like that. I've only come here because we've been told essentially
Not in the slightest.
It was this morning, yeah, it was this morning. Mate, this is obviously not lawful. They can't attach stuff to street furniture.
Excuse me.
It's only...
We recorded what happened this morning.
All you like.
And you can see, from you can hear from the conversation that there was no one today, no rules.
I do watch the video. So, okay, yeah, that's fine. What's happening?
You wouldn't hear
Nothing.
the conversation. We don't know. This morning we were just stood here with the banners up, not talking to anyone, just doing that.
Yeah, so literally they've done nothing, but it wasn't even Johnny Mercer, it was his wife that called them as well. There was another clip I didn't manage to get up, but yeah. I was just like, what's a good, why, like on it's just like, it's just a stupid little one there, guys. James Cleverly, yeah, I'm just going to play this one for you guys, and just enjoy.
You're a dickhead? You're a dickhead, James Cleverly? Why you come around here for? You don't even live around here, I swear. I live in Elscote. Yeah, you don't live in Braintree then, do you? I live in the Tory government has fucked the country. Nobody likes you. Please go home. Yeah, for me, not you. Just fuck off. Nobody likes you. Your government has ruined the country. Okay. Hope you're big, mate. Yeah, will do, mate. Have a good one.
Film me! 14 years you conservative cunts! Fuck off! Go away! Go away! You'll get torn down again. I'll turn it down every fucking time. Nobody here will vote for Conservatives. So what? Fucking hell. What? Because you're rich, you've got a load of fucking money. That's all the Conservatives care about is fucking money. They don't care about me or anybody who's poor. I mean, it's because of you fucking lot. Stay away! I don't mind if I fucking go to prison if I haven't got you. Fuck off!
There were questions about Fred Thomas and his military service that he makes such a big deal out of.
But the NHS is disintegrating. I am one of 2,500 GPs in this country who are currently unemployed due to your policies. What are you going to do about that? 37,000 GPs will not vote Conservative because of the constructive dismissal of general practice that is currently occurring. You cannot employ lesser qualified people instead of GPs. They cannot be replaced. The country is not stupid. They know when lesser qualified people are being used to conduct consultations, which are massively complex. Most people we see over the age of 40 have at least 6 different diseases going on at once. They cannot be coped with by half-qualified staff.
Yeah, this is absolutely happening all over the place, one angry pagan. Like, that man earlier, like... he was expressing exactly to the Conservative how people up and down the country really feel about the Conservatives. There is so much anger, so much anger, and I understand that Conservative candidate has a job to do and whatnot. But mate, like I really don't think some Conservatives really understand just how much they have pissed off the UK. They really have taken their power for granted for the last 14 years. They are going to get a right fucking kicking, and they deserve it, guys. They really are. This one here, it's going to be brutal, but it's important. Never forget the horror incident, guys. 2010, 6,000 people used home banks. 2023, 2.9 million people are using home banks. Any Tory politician has the nerve to show their face in public. This, again, the reason I'm hammering home this message is to remind people of these are the fucking people that you are voting for if you are voting Conservative tomorrow at this general election.
Well, obviously, I want a country where people don't depend on food banks.
We try not to eat a lot in one day, even though most of us are very hungry.
How much is a loaf of bread?
It depends what's it is. I can tell you the price of a bottle of champagne.
I want people with more money to understand why it's like with less money,
You have a contract
Yeah, I do.
with a national newspaper worth £250,000 a year.
Chicken feed. Yeah, okay. All right.
Chicken feed.
Now, listen.
Sometimes we do struggle to buy food a bit, and it's very hard when you don't have very much money.
The typical user of food bank is not someone that's languishing in poverty, it's someone who has a cash flow problem episodically.
We have nurses going to food banks at the moment. That must be wrong.
There are many complex reasons why people go to food banks.
Sometimes we don't have lunch. If we don't have money, we can't buy that stuff for lunch.
There's not this massive use for food banks in this country. We've got generation after generation who cannot cook properly, they can't cook a meal from scratch, they cannot budget.
Mums know what's the best thing to give their children, and they just can't afford to do it.
By going for some of the sort of value brands rather than own branded products, they can actually sort of contain and manage their household budget.
What is wrong is the concept that the people who are on the lowest incomes, who are choosing between whether they freeze or starve, don't know that and don't do that.
Elsie has now resorted to eating one meal a day. She goes to the supermarkets at the end of the day to buy yellow sticker discounted items. She gets up early in the morning to use her Freedom Bus Pass to stay on buses all day to avoid using energy at home.
Let's talk about Elsie and what we're doing. And I just remind you that the 24-hour Freedom Bus Pass was something that I actually introduced.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I can't believe he just said that.
People queuing up out there for food. This is not stopping our numbers continue to rise.
Thank you, Joe Lefty, for the super chat, for the swear jar. 199 super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah. I hate seeing that video. I remember that video vividly of the child, and yeah, it really boils my blood thinking about it, guys. It really fucking boils my blood.
You're a dickhead. You're a...
Really boils my blood thinking about it, that these fuckers have done what they have done for the last 14 years. It is just really absolutely infuriating. So what else have I got? Yeah, so I did have some other ones, but I'm probably gonna not show them. I don't think they're necessary, actually. I think yeah, I'm gonna save that one till last, actually. I think after that we need a bit more. I think we need some laughter to make ourselves feel better, guys. And going a bit up and forward beyond my comprehension how people can still vote for these people. Where is it actually? You know what? You say that. Where is the video? There is a video I saw that really boiled my blood. This one from Novara Media. This boiled my blood. I'm surprised Max hasn't covered it, to be fair, but there's quite a lot out there, to be fair.
England's England. And sometimes I don't even want to be here.
Why is that? Well, it's getting worse.
Too many bloody foreigners. You look around, there's a foreigner. No more England. Might as well name it something else. Hell.
Hell? Why hell?
There's too many foreigners.
You have homeless English people not getting housed, but you have immigrants that come here. They're illegal and they get housed.
This is the fucking problem. They believe this narrative that their problems lie around fucking immigrants. They think all their problems lie around immigrants. Evil as evil does, says number 3. Thank you so much for the £20 super chat, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That really does help. Thank you. That is very generous of you. I really appreciate the support. This infuriates me. And some of these youngsters here are talking about wanting to vote reform. And this is fucking terrifying.
It's a joke.
So just illegal, you're saying just illegal? Illegal immigrants. But legal, I'm talking about, I just asked that, just about legal migrants.
Yeah, but even if they're legal immigrants, they still shouldn't be put over English people. No.
Well, you're being a fucking racist, aren't you? You're an absolute racist. Hands down. Yeah, he's blatantly racist here. and obviously Navarro Media had to blow him out. Like, that's just pure racism what he's saying here. Absolute disgusting.
No, didn't. We spend too much tax money on immigrants, and I think that's a joke.
Boy, you don't know fuck all about taxes in this country.
And we should worry about our own people before others.
Do you think the political class generally are doing that then?
No. I think the Conservative Party is an absolute joke, and young people in this country don't have a voice, and it makes me sick.
And what? So if you could vote, lads, who would you vote for?
Who would I vote for?
Yeah.
Reform UK, probably.
Yeah, that's the one. Reform. So the media would say that people that vote Reform UK, older boomers, racists.
Reform UK though.
But hold on one sec. But we've got a young guy, mixed heritage, who's saying Reform UK. So what are those people wrong about? What attracts you to Reform UK?
Reform UK is that, like, if you're an actual English citizen, you actually have a voice in what happens in this country. But
how fucking retarded are you? Have you really have any idea that you have any idea the consequences of what would happen if Reform comes to power? He has absolutely no idea. If any of these boys actually had any sense, they don't know anything about politics. But if they actually went and looked at the contract, look at the fucking contract that Reform has offered to the British public. You actually look into it. They want to take our human rights away. They want to reverse net zero. These guys are crazy. They are going to, we talk about how bad the Conservatives are. We talk about what Theresa May did. These Reform could potentially be worse. And that we got young people here who think Reform is the best interest of this country. Of the UK. Insane.
But then with a Conservative Party, we don't ever get a voice. So
I'm not monetising this, Andrew Luke, so nothing's going to happen to my channel.
Conservatives, just rich people doing what they want to make the most money that they can, which has always been for ages. But Reform UK, actual working class English people have a voice in what happens in the country.
We were talking to some young boys over there a moment ago, and they really surprised me because they said they were into Reform UK.
Yeah, that's what everyone's been saying. If you ask anyone around here, like 15, 16, maybe even young, they'll all just say like it's all about Reform UK. They don't really have opinion on like Conservatives or Labour, or it's just, yeah.
Why though? What's driving them to that opinion?
I don't know, I think it's because TikTok, because there's been a lot of things about Reform UK coming from like other teens in other places. It will be like they'll kind of be influenced by that.
And this is what Labour have been missing out on. This is what the likes of Politics Social and Phil from Different Bias and those guys who are Labour members who are inside the Labour Party, they need to be kicking some people's backside and doing and pushing more. Their social media has been nothing short of shit from the Labour Party. It has been crap. And if they had the same, if they really had, they could literally hire like Graham Hughes or Phil, and they would get so many more votes. They would win over so many younger voters if they hired them to do some of the social media on their behalf. They really could. If they actually took some YouTubers off there, they would get so many of these youngsters on board. But instead they sat on the sidelines and did shit videos and crap videos, in my opinion. And you had Nigel Farage taking advantage of this situation here, of the social media landscape. Hell, even Suella Braverman did a TikTok video and it went viral. I mean, whatever you say about Suella Braverman, as cruel and evil she is, that's still getting her attention with youngster voters. And that's the future there. And these are the future, these young kids here. And they know that their lives have been ruined. And they're being told that Labour will make things worse. So when Labour come to power, they are going to be under so much pressure to deliver for these kids. Because if they don't, they're going to back Nigel Farage and Reform. I just wanted to share this clip here from No Justice, which is extremely worrying. This is something I can see a Reform Party introducing.
Speaking of kind of the Reform UK attitude to immigration, Greece has just elected a right-wing government, the People's Party. And what they've done, because they are struggling for growth, just like we are, they have said that they are going to introduce a 6-day working week So they are deliberately making people work longer. Now, their justifications for this, apart from being capitalist scumbags wanting to extract as much surplus value as possible, is that the government have said it's needed due to a shrinking population and a shortage of skilled workers. I have talked a lot on stream already about the demographic catastrophe we have coming when the boomers start retiring and we have this top-heavy population pyramid, where it means that we will massively lose productivity when all boomers retire. And because there's not enough young people, and we're going to be restricting immigration regardless of who wins the election, we won't be able to increase the working age population to grow the economy. I worry that if people keep voting for the anti-immigration measures, like Reform UK want to, we'll all end up working 6-day weeks like they are in Greece. Reform UK would love it. First of all, because they're all the bosses, the small business owners, quote unquote, work for them, will be reaping the dividends of all that surplus of value that we'll be taking from us. And then on top of that, the people at the top of Reform UK are all rentiers. They're brokers, they're landlords, they're property magnates, and rentiers extract wealth out of all of the additional work that gets done from the actually productive people, who they'll probably have to end up making work longer to ensure that we can afford to pay for pensions and that the economy doesn't stagnate because of falling demographics.
That's absolutely fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. Greece, people in Greece are being told to work 6 days. One less day of their lives of enjoyments, and all their time they're going to be working. And you know, there was all that talk. I remember there was talk before in Europe about working 4 days a week, and it found to be workers are finding it to be more productive. And then I see this. This is something I can definitely see reform backing, and it's extremely scary. Less time, guys. Less time with your families. Less time with your loved ones. Less holidays, and more work. Your whole life surrounded by work. Absolutely fucking terrifying, guys. Absolutely terrifying. It's extremely terrifying, guys. Absolutely. Before I go to, I'm just gonna have a quick look, see what you guys are saying in the chat. I'm gonna end the poll here just in case I forget the live YouTube chat poll. So 10 people cast their votes about how they feel about tomorrow's election. Most people are happy about it. 20% are nervous or confident, and 10% saying they're feeling a bit stressed about it, which is understandable. The Greeks had the earliest retirement age. They had some of the highest pensions. They have a lot of 60s people retired with full pensions, says Jal. The new edition of Private Eye has a lot of Reform UK billionaires' riches. What a surprise there. The US model, says Mark. Can we get more volume on Helena? I did turn it up a little bit, but the text was there obviously as well for those who, if they didn't always hear it completely. This is what happens when dishonesty is allowed by law, says number 3. In some ways I can get the point of views, but he blames the wrong people. Homelessness should be housed ashore as many, and should many other people. There's not enough housing, says number 3. Yep. Willie Walmer has no answers, just words, says Andrew Luke. Still retard as a deliberate slur. I don't like, he says. I'm here to remove bots. They come anyway, says Jow. Yeah, we're gonna. Don't be surprised if bots turn up, to be fair. Someone should teach him how to speak without touching his junk. Disgusting. Yeah, these kids. Yeah, some of these kids. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything about the the one thing I can't understand with kids is why they have their trousers down like halfway down their ankles and their boxers showing. I don't know why that's a fashion thing. It's pretty sad, if I'm honest. I don't get youngsters doing that. It's beyond my comprehension of how people can still vote for these people. Joe Lefty said that earlier. Food banks are government failures, says Jal. They are government failure, 100%. Sadly, after 50 plus years, my brother showed me true colours. He's not Labour anymore. Hates both the Tories and Labour. Not even interested in SVP. He's all reform. True. Boom. Yeah, because what Nigel Farage is saying is appealing, but he's prepared to ignore the he's prepared to turn a blind eye to some of the lies, or he doesn't want to hear a different opinion. There's a lot of people who are literally set in stone on their mindsets and not willing to change their mind, which is a real concern. Not knowing most of the new politics, not having seen this piece in the news here, but I think we should see the context that they empathise their retirement funds, says Jal there. I'm sure, Jal says, I'm sure, Akismet says to Jal, I'm sure in Greece you could retire at 45, that's why they ended up in a basket case. Yeah, they really shot themselves in the foot, Greece, they did, that is for sure. So guys, I've got another funny video for you guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. This is a good one here from this one is from Kieran Hodgson. This is a really funny one. I hope you guys enjoy this. This is a really, really good one.
On the 4th of July, this country has a clear choice between Keir Starmer, who does not have a plan. My dad was a hammer, and my mum was paracetamol, and me, with a clear plan to lose this election through bold action and repeated apologies. Prime Minister, why didn't you bring an umbrella? Well, Laura, of course the umbrella was a mistake, and I'm apologising for it. Prime Minister, why did you leave D-Day early? Well, Beth, of course D-Day was a mistake, and I'm apologising for it. Scotland, with Reform UK surging in the polls, Rishi Sunak is in grave trouble. I think we all know how the media, the political class, have ruined Britain. Well, now it's my turn. Well, today I'm in this kayak because I believe our public finances are all at sea. Scotland, with the first debate looming, Rishi Sunak is in grave trouble. Keir Starmer has got a plan to raise your taxes because he does not have a plan not to raise your taxes. My dad was a chainsaw and my mum was a tabard. It's interesting to me, Alistair, do you think that in that debate Sunak connected with voters, or does he have a communication issue? I think they're all bastards. Well, today I'm in this Zorb because I believe in transparency. Hello, voters in Lincolnshire, North East and Gaul. With the election betting scandal growing, Rishi Sunak is in grave. Scotland. Well, today I'm in this gunge because... Help. Welcome to election night. Hugh Edwards here, and... Oh no, yeah, sorry. Well, Britain, of course the election was a mistake, and I'm apologising for it. My dad was a wallet, and my mum was change.
This guy's brilliant. I need to keep tabs on this guy. But this is absolutely this is absolutely brilliant. Oh god, that was really good. That was really, really good from Kieran Hodgson there. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, absolutely great stuff. Ah, dear, guys. Guys, I'm going to play one or two more funny videos before we see ourselves out, because I think we need a bit more laughter, kind of, just to kind of see ourselves out, because it's finally... Tomorrow is finally here. Link in the description down below is, just to remind you guys, the link in the description down below is the ID that you... I did a video on the voter ID that you need to take to the polls tomorrow if you haven't already. If you need to look at it again, the link is in the description down below the video, and the Electoral Commission's on what voter ID is acceptable at the polls tomorrow. So make sure you do that as well. So that's really, really important. I'm just going to have a quick look in the chat before we go to some of a bit more there, because what are you guys saying? That's 225,000 in the 48 hours before Farage's Birmingham rally, says Andrew Luke. I was in a mixed race, a same-sex relationship for over 14 years, and some of the things my brother said, the truth both hurt and angered me, but I'm thick-skinned, says Stephen Banker. I'm so sorry to hear that, Stephen. Yeah, that's yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, Brexit is definitely, among many other things, as you know, many families and lives have been destroyed by the 14 years of Conservative, without a shadow of a doubt. Greece is not the UK, and the EU told them to solve their issues, as Giles says. Giles says, for me and my brothers may speak of politics. Sometimes we were just brothers when we're together, nothing more, no arguments or bull, just eat and drink and bury. Blood is thicker than war should be, says Jow. Yeah, that is... says, honestly, I'm above it and sharing is caring. Yeah, what... Yeah, so things happen, and some things you just can't... You know, some people are just... Yeah. yeah, it's pretty shit. Yeah, I'm sorry, Stephen. Hopefully some videos can help. I can help make some of the things go away. So Jonathan Pye has done another one. He's supposed to have one more after this. I don't know if he's already put it out or not, but he's done one on Labour, guys. So for those who obviously have their feelings about Labour, well, let's hear what he has to say.
But voter apathy might be the thing that swings this election one way or the other. Let's take a look. Right, so here's the thing, mate, right? If you want the Tories to win, but you're not going to vote because you think they won't win, then they won't win. And if you want Labour to win, but you're not going to vote because you think they will win, then they won't win, right? And if you don't want either of them to vote, then just stay at home. But don't fucking moan when they come for your kids. How am I voting? It's complicated. It's complicated. It's complicated because right, I have never in my life voted for anyone that wins. Never, not once. No, I never voted for Tony Blair because I hated him. Because from day one I could see that he was a disingenuous, grinning Cheshire twat who hoodwinked a nation into thinking a centrist warmonger could speak the language of ordinary, hard-working people. She was the people's princess, so now let's, in her memory, lock and load and go and kill some Iraqi women and children. So, you know, I just dabbled with the Lib Dems until Blair was gone. So the first time I ever voted for Labour was for Gordon Brown in that election where he called that dear old lady who was worried about immigration a fucking Nazi. Yeah, and I have voted for Labour ever since, and it hasn't gone well. You know, I'm a bad omen. I'm a bad omen. So this time, who I want to win and who I'm voting for are two separate things. Yeah. Who do I want to win? Look, it's worth pointing out exactly what Labour did right for this country. By the time Gordon Brown left office, yes, they'd started putting the NHS out to tender, but there was also record investment in it, and the NHS was possibly in the best shape it has ever been. Yes, they ended free university, but investment in state education was probably the best it had ever been. There was a decent, functioning social safety net for the most vulnerable people in our society, and by today's standards, relative control of immigration. But, you know, that was then. That was then, and this is now. And now we have Sir Keir Starmer, who is awkward as fuck. He's very dull. He's a bit like an untrained AI or a very realistic Jim Henson puppet, minus any charm. He's a bit slug-like. Again, with that odd, strange nasal voice, like Ed Miliband eating a dry cake. You know, but he is from working class stock, as he keeps reminding us. My dad was a tool maker, yeah, and I'm looking right at one. Yes, and my mum was chronically ill and I had to nurse her from a very young age. It's difficult to find fault there, actually. But I don't know. I don't know what to say. He's shit. And I have been amazed at how shit and unpolished and unmedia trained Starmer is. But there is a simple choice to be had this election. Vote the Tories out or don't. There is a choice. Sunak or Starmer. Sunak, a multi-millionaire hedge fund manager come disaster capitalist, or Starmer, a human rights lawyer. It's got to be a step in the right direction. Right? You know, when these Tories shout and attack him, look at this human rights lawyer, fucking expert in human rights. We don't need human rights, we're British. When they do that, they look mildly stupid. They look like dicks. It's not like the last Labour leader who the Tories successfully managed to frame as an IRA sympathising anti-Semite who makes his own jam. And rightly or wrongly, Jeremy Corbyn proved that he was unelectable. Twice. It's difficult to remember, right? The last election was a clean sweep for the Tories. Boris winning a huge majority by hiding in a fridge. People were talking about 10 years of Boris. Labour were on the floor. They were torn apart. And now they kind of look just about ready to govern. Arguably, the Tories have done more to get Labour in power than Labour have, but that is quite an achievement in 5 short years. But here's the thing. Winning isn't enough. The Labour manifesto is dog shit. Gone is any trace of Labour being left-wing anymore. It's champagne socialism minus the socialism. Fiscal responsibility, yeah, fine, I get it. But what is your moral mission? Give me something to just give me a little bit of blood in my cock. Come on, where is the we will end rough sleeping in our first term and mean it? In 5 years we will eradicate the need for food banks. Or there are more food banks in this country than there are McDonald's. We are going to change that, and not by just opening more McDonald's. You know, where is the promise? Where is the hope? The hope that we can all work hard and strive for better in our lives, safe in the knowledge that we live in a country where the people with the most money pay their fair share, and where being born into poverty has no bearing on the education or the healthcare that you receive. Without that promise, without that hope, what's the fucking point? Starmer, he gets my vote. Fine. But he needs to do better, and he better not fuck this up. But of course he doesn't get my vote, because I'm not voting Labour, because I want Labour to win, and my vote is a bad omen. So, I don't know. Is the monster raving loony party still a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Well, with so many undecideds, some in the Labour Party are openly worried that low voter turnout could take its toll.
I gotta say that what he said there about Labour were pretty powerful stuff, guys. To be fair, without a shadow of a doubt, it's definitely to say the least. So, guys, before we end the live stream, and I will be on the Discord chat tonight, guys, so feel free to come and hang out on the Discord community if you guys want to have one last round of talks before the tomorrow, before the general election. Just a reminder, guys, I will be having content dropping tomorrow. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow evening with myself and Lee Corn, the Snowflake show, back together for one more time. And we will be obviously there when 10 o'clock hits, and obviously the initial estimated pollings and what the projections are indicating. That's going to be really exciting. So myself and Lee Corn will be doing that. So do come and join myself and Lee Corn, the old gang, back together for one last time. Maybe again in the future, who knows. But yeah, do join us tomorrow evening for that. At the moment, I've set it at 9 o'clock, and I'm going to be using StreamYard, which I've not used before. So hopefully, cross fingers, it all goes well. So I've never used it before, and I haven't really had a practice run with it, so I'm obviously going to be going off the flyer with that. But before we head out, guys, I think it's time that we celebrate in all of the good way. Without a shadow of a doubt, one of my favourite videos that I have come to learn over the last couple of years. I hope you guys enjoy this funny video. You guys have heard this one before, but it is the end of the Tories. So there is some light at
the end of the Tories and they know it. It's the end of the Tories and they know it.
It's the end of the Tories and they know it. And we will be fine, guys. We will be fine. So, guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's come tonight. Thank you all for your comments. A massive thank you to those who gave super chats tonight. Number three, and oh my god, and Joe Lefty, and I'm sure I've missed Joe Lefty with the super chat as well, and Steve as well with his 10 New Zealand dollars as well. Thank you guys for those super chats. I really, really appreciate it, because it really does support the channel. Financial support me in the work that I do. So thank you guys for them. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you guys so much for all your support. To have as many subscribers that I have on this channel is insane. Like I said, after this week, guys, there's going to be shaking things up on this channel, new formats and whatnot. So do keep your eyes out. But yeah, make sure, if you haven't already, guys, make sure you cast your vote tomorrow. If you're postal voting, do chase up on your postal vote if you haven't got it already. Cross fingers you get it before the general election. I really hope nobody here misses out on the voting. But obviously, I will be back tomorrow, 8 or 9 o'clock with Lee Corn for a Snowflake show, kind of special. So we'll obviously have plenty to discuss there. And then obviously I will be back again on Friday morning, 7 a.m. guys, 7 a.m. I don't know how long I'm going to go on Friday morning at 7 a.m. but I wanted to be up super early before. I know Phil from Different Bias is going to be doing a live stream a couple of hours later, so I may just end before he goes live and goes into his live stream or something like that. But we'll see how it goes anyway, guys. But so yeah, come join me in the Discord. I'll be joining you guys shortly. I just have 1 or 2 things I need to do before then. But yep, I'll just see the gang here obviously one more time. Don't worry, guys. We will get that lava lamp back. I promise. We will get that lava lamp fixed, guys. It's coming. It's just a matter of when, guys. But just before you guys head out, I just have one final thing to say. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share this live stream across social media and subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.